What's up, everyone? DeucesJack at VapingInsider.com. Today, I got a new single-cell squonker for you. I'm talking about the Dovpo Topside. I don't know what happened here, man. See that little dot right there? Look at that. See that? I don't know. Somehow, I got juice under the screen. I don't know if you can see that. That's actually juice, right? So when I got done cutting the down low, I went to go cut the intro and the outro, right? And I woke up in the morning and I wanted to cut the intro and the outro, and I noticed I got juice in the screen. I didn't do anything different. I didn't drop it, nothing, right? So, I went back and I looked at the video, and I noticed in the first part of the video that there was some juice in the screen that I never noticed before. And now when I go to put a battery in, watch this. All right, nothing happens. Nothing. No jump cuts. Nothing happens. And you can see that juice in there. Before we get into the review, I gotta tell you what happened with my Topside and my experience with Dovpo USA. Now, before I even get into it, I want to say that this is by no means meant to malign Brian from TVC. He's just the designer. This is 100% on Dovpo USA, what I'm going to say in the rest of this video. I do know Brian. We are not personal friends. It's not like we go out for beers or we go out for dinner or anything like that. Now, a lot of people are going to say, but Jack, if you had a problem with the mod, why didn't you just contact Brian if you know him? And I'm going to tell you right now, I would never, ever do that, even if I knew Brian better than I actually know him. I get tons of questions all the time. Jack, my smoke mod won't charge. What should I do? What do you want me to tell you? Am I a smoke factory representative? I can't tell you what to do. Contact the company. Contact the place you bought it from. So if I'm getting questions like that, I can't even imagine the questions that Brian gets on the Topside or the drop dead on a daily basis. And I don't want to be that guy that hits him with those types of questions. So that's why I didn't contact him before I dropped this video. So now let's get into it. Let's get into the story, my saga with Dovpo USA. So Element Vape contacts me about 5-6 weeks ago. They're like, hey Jack, you want to review the Topside? I'm like, sure man, I've been looking to get a hold of one. I'd love to review it. Send it on over, right? So Element Vape sends it over. I open it up. It's the blue one. And I'm in love with the blue one because I'm like, this is fantastic. This thing matches my Asmodus C4, which is one of my favorite single coil atomizers. It looks gorgeous on it. I'm happy like you wouldn't believe, right? I'm rocking this thing for about 3 weeks, enjoying the hell out of it. I'm saying, wow, this is one of the squonkers of the year, without a doubt, right? I cut the down low on my video. I cut the intro on my video. I put the mod on my nightstand. I say to myself, tomorrow I'll cut the outro, right? I wake up in the morning. I look at the mod's off, and I see juice behind the screen. I'm like, what the hell is this, right? I click the mod on 5 times. The little droplet of juice behind the screen. I'm like, how the hell did that get there? So I'm vaping on it for a few hours. All of a sudden, the mod just shuts down. I'm like, God damn it, man. I'm not going to be able to finish this review, right? So I go back and I look at the down low, and I notice on parts of the down low, you can see the little juice behind the screen. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. How didn't I notice that before? So I'm like, man, I don't feel like sending this back to Element Vape. I know they'd exchange it for me, but they're very good to me, and I don't want to seem like I'm taking advantage. So I'm like, you know what? This thing's almost 4 weeks old. This really isn't Element Vape's problem. This really is Dovpo's problem. Let me see if I contact Dovpo and see what they say, right? So I noticed they have a Dovpo USA on Facebook, so I contact them, and, I'll show you the correspondence, okay? I sent them an email at their info Dovpo USA email, and I said, I've had my Topside for about 3 weeks, woke up this morning, and it had juice behind the screen. It worked for a few hours, and now it will not even turn on. Please advise DeucesJack, VapingInsider.com, right? Now, to their credit, I got a reply back less than 20 minutes later. I was super, super impressed. I was like, wow, this company's on the stick, man. They're on the ball, all right? I was feeling confident that they were going to do the right thing and fix this thing, right? So I get a response less than 20 minutes later. Greetings, DeucesJack. Thanks so much for reaching out to us at Dovpo USA. I love my Topside that I've been using for months now with no issues, and I am sorry to hear that you are experiencing difficulties with yours. You can contact the retailer you purchased it from and inquire about their warranty exchange policy to see if they are willing to help you after the sale. Now, that's only the first paragraph, and I'm like, really, man? So, it's almost like they're calling me a liar, right? Like that's kind of the feeling I got when I read it. I love my Topside, and I've got no problems with it. Like, what are you trying to tell me? It's my fault. And then you kind of right away, you don't even know what the issue is, and you're trying to pawn it off on the retailer, even though in the initial email I told you I've had it for 3 weeks already, and common sense would tell you that it's not the retailer's problem anymore. Listen, if it came broken out of the box, it's definitely the retailer's problem, and they should exchange it. But after 3-4 weeks, it becomes Dovpo USA's problem, all right? So that's just the first paragraph. I let it slide. I'm like, whatever, man. So let's read the second paragraph. If they are unwilling to assist you, I certainly can. It would require you to send your device to our facility in Orlando, Florida, so our tech team can look into it and see if the issue is related to a defect in the manufacturing process. In order to process the warranty, I will need the device in the original packaging with all the bits from inside the box. Make sure your bottle is clean and dry prior to shipping so it will not make a mess. I will need a copy of the sales receipt and the form that I have attached to be completed, just the top portion. The process takes 7 days from the time we receive it until it is back in your hands. So I got to admit, I glanced over that they need the bottle part, all right? I just figured, I send it back in the original box and we'll be good to go. He also gave me the address, and then he said, you have my direct contact information, so please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I look forward to assisting you promptly. And he signed it, and I don't want to give this guy's name because I don't want to give him any credit, because this guy really is not a good dude. He's not what I've seen represented in the vaping community in my couple of years in it so far, all right? So I write back, I go, thanks for the quick response. The requirements are going to be a bit of an issue. I don't have a receipt because it was sent to me from Element Vape for review. I am the reviewer over at Vaping Insider. I just finished the review, and I was ready to send it to my editor when this happened. I'm hoping this is a one-off problem. I'd just rather send it to you for service. And I sign it, DeucesJack, vapinginsider.com, right? Listen to the response I get. Wait till you hear this, okay? Since they provided you a free device to do testing reviews, they will have to assist you with replacing it. You can definitely send it in for service, and we will take a look at it. If it is fixable, we will certainly do that for you. If it is something that requires replacement, though, Element Vape will need to take over and replace the device they provided to you at no charge. So right off the bat, just after reading that paragraph, you can see that this guy has a problem with reviewers. He's got a problem with reviewers getting things for free. That kind of bothers him, because it doesn't make any sense, his response. First of all, I told him Element Vape sent it to me. That means Element Vape paid for it. That means Dovpo got paid for it. That means Dovpo should back up their product. It's not like Dovpo sent it to me for free. If they did and they said screw off, then I could say, okay, whatever, you know what I mean? The company don't want to stand behind its product, whatever. I got no issues here, okay? But the fact that Element Vape paid for it and Dovpo already got paid and they're not willing to stand behind their product is a bit of a concern for me. But I just, it triggered me. I didn't get excited. I kind of just glanced over it, right? And I sent them a response. I said, I'm going to opt to send it in to be fixed. I feel that after 3 weeks, it shouldn't be Element Vape's problem. It's not like it was broken out of the box. It's a shame because I really love this mod. Worst comes to worst, I'll just buy another to complete the review, but I would still like to have this one fixed. DeucesJack, Vaping Insider, right? So now, I kind of like pushed his objection to the side, and I said, you know what? I'm going to opt to send it in anyway, all right? I kind of told him in a nice way that, listen, it really doesn't matter whether I paid for it or not. Element Vape paid for it. This is your problem now. It wasn't broken out of the box. So I packed the thing up. They get it on like a Friday, right? And I know because I'm tracking it that they got it on a Friday, right? So I figured, you know what, it's the weekend, whatever. I'm not going to say nothing. I didn't get any correspondence that they received it or anything, right? Monday passes, no correspondence. Tuesday passes, no correspondence that they got it. So Tuesday night at 6:30, which, business hour wise is effectively Wednesday. So this is 4 days after they received it, right? I send them a little note. I go, hello, I sent my topside in for repair. It had juice behind the screen. Any update on the status, right? So now this guy sends me another email, and it says, if you are so-and-so from so-and-so place, we have received your device, and it is being processed today. You will receive tracking info shortly for the return. I thank you for the opportunity to assist you. So I'm like, good deal, man. All right, they fixed the thing. It's Wednesday now. Hopefully I get the thing by Friday or Saturday. I'll be able to finish my review. I'll be able to complete my obligation to Element Vape and Vaping Insider. I'm very happy now, right? Okay. Next morning, I wake up. Oh, I responded first. I said, great, thanks for the update, right? Next morning, I wake up to this email. Jack, my tech team let me know that the mod was damaged from e-liquid contacting the board inside the device. Really? I told you there was juice behind the screen. We know, all right? But whatever. Since you did not send the bottle with the device as requested, I cannot test the bottle for leaks. I am having them reassemble the device and return it to you as is. I will provide the tracking as soon as it ships. So I'm like, I go back, right, and I noticed that he did say send the bottle, right? But I'm saying to myself, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I got a million devices, right? I'm saying, what the hell does the bottle have to do with anything? What do you mean you got to test the bottle for leaks? The bottle is separate. It's in a separate compartment. It wasn't the bottle that leaked. It was the bridge, right, that bridged the tube that went from the bottle to the 510. It probably press fit. It leaked and it dripped juice all over the board. I didn't have to open it up to see that. That's, I'm 99% sure that's what happened. It had nothing to do with the bottle, all right? So anyway, the only thing it could have had to do with the bottle is the bottle's not making a good connection. And if that was the case, you know what? You're Dovpo. Put a freaking bottle in there and just send it on its way and tell me not to use the old one. That would have been fine with me, all right? But whatever. So now I'm annoyed. I'm a little annoyed right now because this has been going on for a couple of days now. And this guy's been kind of snarky with me with his little shots in the emails, right? So I email him back. I'm like, is there a phone number I can reach you at? Please do not send back the mod. And I'm saying to myself, let me get this guy on the phone. Let me talk to him man to man. Let me see if we can work something out. I'm sure he's a reasonable dude, right? So he answers back with a phone number, gives me his extension, and says it goes right to his desk, right? So I get on the phone with him, and I'm like, hey, man, what's up? He's like, hey. I'm like, listen. And I start right in because, like I said, I'm a little excited now because I'm a little annoyed, right? And I'm like, listen, man, I don't understand why you need the bottle. This is kind of ridiculous. You know the thing failed. It's got juice behind the screen. You admitted it. What do you need the bottle for? You're Dovpo. You don't have a bottle. Just put a bottle in there and test it, and let's get this thing on its way so I can complete my review, right? You know what he says to me? He goes, are you finished yelling at me? And I swear to God, I was talking to him just in the same tone I was talking to you in. And I just stood back for a minute, and I'm like, is this guy kidding me? So I said to him, I said, listen, I'm not yelling at you. I'm a New Yorker. That's the way we talk when we get excited. That was not yelling. Trust me when I tell you, that was not me yelling. Okay? The bottom line is the mod failed, man. It's got juice behind the board. I want to get going. I want to get this review done. Let's work something out so I can get this mod back and I can get this review on the books, right? He's like, I need the squonk bottle. I'm like, why do you need the squonk bottle? He's like, I have to test the pressure in the squonk bottle. I said, why? Is the pressure in my squonk bottle 10 pounds more than any other squonk bottle that is out there? Why would you have to test the pressure in it? I mean, give me a break, man. You're not talking to a newbie. I got a ton of other mods, all right? I've done 234 reviews this year. You're just pulling my leg now. You're just not doing what you can to accommodate me. I'm like, listen, yours is not the first, device that I've had problems with, when I do reviews. Normally when that happens, I give the company a chance to correct the problem. And if they do, most of the times I don't even mention it in the review because a lot of times I get samples that aren't ready for market yet and stuff like that. So I'm trying to give the guy an out, right? I'm trying to tell him, listen, work with me here, man. I don't want to be the bad guy here, okay? Just work with me here, you know? So I said, can you just do me a favor, man? Put a bottle in there. Let's get this thing up and running and send it out to me. Fix the mod and send it out to me. He goes, no, I can't do that. And I said, may I ask why? And he says, because I don't feel like it. No kidding, man. No kidding. A customer service guy, a guy who's supposed to be, doing customer service, said to me, he's not going to help me because he doesn't feel like it. I mean, could you imagine somebody ever telling you this on the phone? Then the guy says to me, again, because he said this to me in an email already, he says, listen, we're not going to replace a mod that you got for free. So now I'm just like, all right, let me explain it to this guy because he obviously doesn't get it. Let me school him on what goes on, all right? I say to him, listen, so-and-so, you seem to have a problem with the fact that I got the mod for free, which really is none of your business. That's number one. Number two, Element Vape paid for the mod, which means your company, Dovpo USA, got paid for the mod, which means the mod isn't for free, and you should still back it up, stand behind your product. So I said, look, man, you're making this really difficult on me. I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't even want to include this in my review if I don't have to, especially if it's a one-off problem. But you're forcing my hand. When I get this thing back, I'm going to have to put this in my review. You know what he says to me? He says to me, do me a favor. When you mention me in the review, make sure you spell my name correctly. So now I'm like, man, this guy's just a dick. There's no two ways about it. This guy's a dick. He's one of those guys that when he has all the power, right, and he can be a dick, he will be the biggest dick he can be because he's just a dick, all right? And I'm just like, you know what, man? And now I've had it with the guy. Now I'm just like, that's it, man. There's no talking to this guy. He's not reasonable. I tried to back off him. I tried to do whatever I can. I tried all the verbal gymnastics I know. This guy's just being totally unreasonable. So I said to him, you know what, so-and-so, I'm going to play your little game, okay? You want to make me jump through hoops to get this thing fixed? That's fine. I said, I'm going to send you, do me a favor, keep the mod. Do not send the mod back to me, all right? I am going to send you the bottle that I used. I'm even going to send you the spare bottle that I did not use so you can test them for pressure. Okay? So do me a favor. Don't send anything back. I'm going to send it out today. I'm going to send tracking. Right? So I pack up both bottles. Right? So now this is costing me another $7 and change. Right? So I'm $14 out because of this guy. Right? And I send him an email and I put, as per our conversation, I'm sending both bottles to you in order to complete the repair of my topside. Included in the packaging is the original bottle that I actually used, as well as the spare that has never been used. Tracking number blah, blah, blah. So to be clear, as we discussed on the phone, you are holding the mod because I am sending the bottle. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at blah, blah, blah. Looking forward to receiving my fully repaired topside unit. Thanks, DeucesJack, Vaping Insider. So I packed this thing up, and I sent it on its merry way, all right? Now, let's talk about a few things here, okay? Like I said before, I've had devices come to me, that have not been in good working condition. Most of the time, they're samples. I normally call the company up, email them or whatever, and give them a chance to fix it. I've had companies come to me after a review, after they've sent me a sample packaging, they've looked at my review and they've said, Jack, you put that in your review and we fixed it. We want you to take that out of the review. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking it out of the review. Not until you send me a fixed version, because I don't know that you fixed it. So, we've had this happen before. Stuff like this. It's not a big deal. Most companies handle it gracefully. Dovpo USA, not so much, right? Now, there's a few different ways this guy could have handled this, right? First way, and the best way, would have been, hey, Jack, send in the mod. You know what I mean? We looked at it. It's got juice behind the screen. It obviously failed. we're just going to send you a brand new one. Same color, we're just going to send you a brand new one. And that would have been the easiest way to handle it, would have been the fastest way to handle it. And I'll tell you what, I would have been totally happy, especially if they told me, Jack, it's a one-off thing, it doesn't happen a lot. I probably wouldn't have even mentioned it in my review, okay? Second way they could have handled it is they could have actually fixed the mod without making me jump through hoops, right? They could have just said, hey, Jack, you didn't send in the bottle. We wish you would have. We're going to put another bottle in there. Do us a favor. Don't use the bottle that came with it because we don't know if it's faulty. You know what I mean? Throw that bottle out and just use the bottle we're going to send with it. We tested it. It works now. And I would have been very happy with that as well. I probably would have mentioned that I sent it in that scenario, but I would have been happy and I wouldn't have made a big deal about it, okay? And the third way they could have handled it is to just be a bunch of jerks like they were to me right now and the way I told you. So, I don't know where this is going to end. I really don't. I'm planning on just showing you the review. I'm going to show you the juice behind the screen and everything, and hopefully I'll have a resolution by then. All right? In the meantime, what I did do was I went to Element Vape. I ordered a brand new gunmetal one at full price. I wanted to support Element Vape because I could have gotten it someplace cheaper, but I didn't want to do that because I want to support the people that support me. I'll pay the extra $20, just because I want to do the right thing by Element Vape. So I ordered a new one from Element Vape just so I could complete the review. You're going to see the different colored one when I complete the review. And I'll be honest with you, man, I got no confidence that this guy is actually going to fix this mod. I think he's going to come back to me when he gets the bottles with some other kind of BS, all right? I don't think he's actually going to fix the mod. I'll be surprised if he does. And even if he does fix the mod, I have no trust in that mod whatsoever now after my interaction with him. None whatsoever. When I get it back, it's going back on the shelf. I'm not going to use it. I don't know if this guy did something to the bottle, if he spit in it, or put some type of bodily fluids in it. You know what I mean? I have no idea, because this guy just seems like a real creep. And, I don't want a guy like that touching my stuff. I just don't. So I'm not going to use it even if it does get fixed. What I do want to say is this. Dovpo China, if you're watching this, you need to take care of business, man. You need to go to Orlando, Florida, pull this guy out of his desk, take the phone away from him, and never let him talk to customers again. I have no idea what his skill set is. I can't imagine what it is. I know it's not customer service. I know it's not people. That's not this guy's skill set. He has no business talking to the public. None whatsoever. If I had to take a guess, he's probably one of those bean counter guys that runs Dovpo USA for China. He's probably one of those guys you see at the vape events that are smoking out back. He's probably not even a real vapor. All right? But I know this. He shouldn't be dealing with the public because I had the most disgusting experience with this guy that I've ever had with any vape company in the years that I've been doing reviews. Trust me when I tell you, Dovpo China, this guy behind the desk in Orlando, Florida, is not doing your company any favors, all right? He's not representing you well. Now, the other thing is, maybe this company just can't deal with success. Because let's face it, up until Brian got there and designed the Topside for them, they really haven't put out a mod of any consequence. Their mods have been crap up until then. Okay, this is probably going to be their biggest seller ever, and maybe they just can't deal with success. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for them. And the guy I really feel bad for, you guys know I do reviews, but I'm also a bartender. I'm also a working Joe, right? And the guy I feel bad for is the working Joe. The guy who scrimped and saved, right? He might be going paycheck to paycheck. He might have a kid or two, right? So, other things come before vape gear. And maybe he put $10, $15 aside every week. And he went out and bought a Topside. Because let's face it, it's not a cheap mod. It's a $75, $80 mod. It's not like it's a $30 mod. So maybe this guy scrimped and saved for a Topside, right? He has it. He's enjoying it, using it. 3-4 weeks later, he gets juiced behind the screen. The thing breaks. He contacts Dovpo USA, and he's got to deal with an animal like this, making him jump through hoops for something that he saved up for. And this is a guy that goes check to check. That's the guy I feel bad for. And that's the reason I made this video. So make sure you keep an eye out for part 2. All right. Part 2 is going to be the review and the resolution. All right. You guys keep living that vape life. We're out of here. We're going to see you on the next one. Deuces.